Howdy folks, today we're going to talk about college sports, but specifically the part of college sports that no one hears about. Something really serious has always affected college athletes. They commit themselves to being student athletes. But one thing we don't hear about is life-changing injuries. With intense workouts, competitive environments, they are inevitable. Most athletes, unfortunately, have to endure an injury or some type of obstacle in their career. But what many people do not know is how deeply this affects players. The ramifications can impact academics, scholarship, family, mental health, and of course, the physical pain. From what I have seen in past cases, once a student athlete is injured and can no longer play, i.e. make money for that university, they're often kicked off the team and kicked to the curb like a dead raccoon on 690. Their scholarship is taken away, medical bills rack up, and these students and their parents are left scrambling to figure things out. I intend to shed more light on this issue and show what actually goes on after serious injury from the scientific aspect as well as from a legal and institutionalized aspect. Firstly, I'm going to show you a pic and a video of Eric LeGrand, a Rutgers lineman, and how his career ended.
Eric's
You best believe he's not thinking about how he's
spirits were
going
as good as you could expect.
to come back
He was
on the
cognizant of
field.
me being
At
there,
this
his
moment,
mom and everybody.
He's not concerned about his
We saw
scholarship.
him before
There's
surgery
trig
and
test
after
on Wednesday.
surgery, and
He is concerned
he's
with
a fighter.
At this point, he does not realize what is ahead and the fact that he cannot play football anymore. This will not sit well, and he will be supported by his family and friends. Because of this injury, the university no longer sees him as a money-making aspect. And without hesitation, they're going to pull his scholarship. Just as one with many upcoming consequences that a player like LeGrand will have to deal with. In 1998, Professor Wies Bornstall came up with the Integrated Sports Injury Model, which in a nutshell posted several responses to how athletes may react after an injury and how they'll react during rehab. These include many of the situational factors that we discussed above. But what it really allows is for people to predict what may happen psychologically after an athlete's world unravels. Many college sports have high demands both physically and mentally, but none are quite as much as football, which is one of the most dangerous and lethal NCAA sports that is sponsored. With contact on every single play, football players, as soon as they step on the field, have a high risk of injury. However, with college football having such a high revenue, and actually the highest revenue in college sports, colleges will often do what is financially beneficial to their institution, instead of what is in the best interest for the athlete. But as research shows, catastrophic injuries don't really happen that often. But when they do, they are not taken as seriously by the college as they really should. Barry Bowden did discuss disastrous injuries in 2007 and found that for every 1,000 injuries, less than one was catastrophic. Yet the risk ratio was 3.28, which is kind of low for such a violent contact sport. Yet we ask, what defines a catastrophic injury? Bowden says, catastrophic injuries as direct, resulting in participation from the sport, or indirect, subdivides into three categories: fatal, non-fatal, and serious. Serious being where the athlete is severely disabled and has no longer any functionability. With contact sports becoming more and more life-threatening, and how football is already so hazardous, we can only sit and wait and to see how long until this number rises among college athletes, especially in the upcoming years. But there are many steps that the university can do to combat the rise of these injuries, which include funding more medical help for already injured athletes, as well as funding research and other such objects that could help this happening at a different rate. Also, society needs to be aware that young athletes are risking for an education. One way to start addressing this issue is to lower college tuition. Then sports might be more team-driven. Teammates looking out for one another, instead of every man for himself, as if each athlete is set like a gladiator in the Coliseum to hold for public spectacle. However, this happened in the first century. What else has changed? And wrapping up, let's look at what happened. It is clear that colleges are using these players as income instead of people. It is evident that players are now paying the price to go all out for their university, only to have future opportunities taken away. Because they can no longer play? By adjusting NCAA bylaws to look more into funding and research, we can help all vulnerable athletes receive the help they need without costing them their education, both of which are easily achievable. Also, we need to bring this light to lawmakers and reformers so we can give these players the justice they deserve. Thank you.